So, episode 5. So it was the same beginning as it has been for every episode. But this time Joe had British flags in his hand. The van pulled up, and then a police car with his sirens on pulled up behind it. So they put Joe in the van, and then they told the policeman that they are dropping him home. And then it went back to the family. Rebecca's dad dropped her home. And then Joe ended up getting dropped off by the police car, where as the woman has been detained in the police cell, all to do with immigration and stuff. So Nicola took Joe to school, whilst Alison went to the police station, and her boss, Nicola's boss, told her to apply for this job in Stockport, I think it was. So then we found out that Maya, is not actually Polish. She is from Ukraine. And she was over here illegally. Alison, when she left the station, Alison told her to marry her ex, to stay in the country. And Alison really is a bully, thinking everything is about her and Joe. Morris said that Eddie said to Eddie about looking for something else, but really he said it because he was pissed off with Alison. And then Rebecca went and seen her ex, and threatened him about if he doesn't leave her alone, then she knows someone in the medical profession, so they can get his medical records and stuff. After that, Morris went on his run and ended up outside his music teacher's house for his lesson, and asked her if she slept with his mate from the pub the other night, who is also a policeman. She said no, so he went to kiss her and she pulled away. The restaurant is coming together nicely. They had a phone call from the school because Joe's behaviour has changed since what happened with Maya. Paul isn't happy the way everyone's treating Joe, even though they're not doing nothing wrong at all. A practice manager went to see the family, so Nicola's manager, to say that they had a phone call from Rebecca's ex-boyfriend's mum to say about the threatening of revealing the medical records. And then Eddie looked at a job in Manchester, but Nicola wants to stay. Rebecca was on some kind of reading week or something, whatever that means, and said that she was going to stay with her dad. But Nicola doesn't want her to. Morris asked his son Eddie to become a partner in the brewery business. But Eddie told him he's done now. But then Eddie, Maya was saying goodbye to everyone. And then Joe and Maya did have a special relationship, special bond. I think that's one of the reasons why his behaviour changed. Like that day, she got arrested. Paul spoke to Rebecca because he found some morning after pills. She kept saying it wasn't hers, but he wasn't believing her. Till Alison came in and told him it was hers. And so in the end, Alison told him she does not want any more children. But Paul does. Paul said that he wants to father a normal child. But Alison told him she doesn't want any children. End off. So what will happen now? So that was episode 5. So the last episode in series 1. It started off with Joe walking his normal route with a duck this time. Paul slept in the restaurant all night after that big row in episode 5. Morris was in a suit, stood outside the teacher's house and walked away, then walked back, then walked away again. It was funny. Rebecca was in her dad's car, playing with her baby sister. And he basically told her he doesn't want her to go to his next Saturday. Which obviously she's not happy with. Everyone was rushing around at the restaurant because it was the opening of it. Eddie has had a phone call from that job in Manchester, and they offered him the job, and he accepted it. Morris had a few things to do, as in go and see the music teacher. So he asked if he should take Joe. Alison said no. And then Paul said yeah. So he took him. Morris took him to the music teacher and told her to go to the restaurant tonight for their opening with her son Ralph, who's Down syndrome. So Morris left Joe and Ralph in the kitchen while they had a chat in the living room. Suddenly Ralph made this noise, shouting for his mum. So they went to the kitchen, and he said that Joe went out in the garden whilst he was making a drink, and then he went out there to give Joe the drink, and Joe was gone. So Morris drove back to the restaurant, still nowhere to be seen. Nicola thinks she's pregnant, which is one of the main reasons why she doesn't want to go to Manchester. So the police are now involved with Joe's disappearance. Alison still doesn't want anyone to know that he has autism, but they had to tell everyone because then they know what to expect or how to deal with Joe. One of the main way everyone tried looking for him is playing music really loud. And yeah, that bit was the second half was quite emotional in this episode. Alison went to see Ralph and wanted to see the place where Joe disappeared, and tried to get an answer out of Ralph. She kept going, trying to, but she didn't get an answer because he doesn't know anything. All the toys that we've seen on every beginning of every episode that Joe was carrying on that road was down by a river. They were waiting for divers just in case he went to the river. Rebecca's ex was helping looking for Joe with his so-called mate, and found him at the bus stop. Found Joe at the bus stop. So they took him back to the restaurant with the police. Paul shook his hand and still wasn't happy with the way he treated Rebecca. So after that, Alison went and seen Ralph and apologised. Paul said it felt like grief when he went missing. Eddie left Nicola, and yeah, it ended. It was a beautiful ending on series 1. So let's do series 2 before it's back for its third series next week.